Hello, hello. Am I audible to all? Hello, hello. Is my voice coming to you? Let everyone join. We'll start the session at 7:03. Hope you must have covered the yesterday's session with the notes provided and must have looked at the uh, GitHub repo that I provided you in the with my what you say in the notes. Okay. So let's just wait for 2-3 minutes and then we'll start. Okay. Just say if my voice is audible to you in the comment section. Okay. We'll start the session at 7:03. Hope you all have covered the yesterday's topic and must have learned the React hooks that I told you was previously covered in our own bootcamp, which was a 3-day bootcamp. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. So if any doubt from the tomorrow session, you can just ask me. Then we'll start with the today's session. Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Okay. Anyone has any doubt from the yesterday's section? Then I'll resolve it now, and then we'll start with today's topic. And today's topic would be even more interesting, right? Right. And on the last day, you will see that how, like, suppose there are thousands of reel coming on your Instagram, they do not get loaded on the click on the Instagram. They open when they are needed. That particular thing is actually called the lazy loading. Okay. So I think we can start the session. Okay, so yesterday what we did, a small recap I'll give you. Yesterday we looked how the React memo works. So basically, a React memo, what it do, it actually shallow compares with the previous state. Okay, and it sees that if there is no much change from the previous state, it will not get re-rendered in the re-rendering cycle. Right? I show you the Amazon example. You can watch that particular thing in the yesterday's lecture. And today what we'll do is that we'll look at the use memo. So first of all, in one line difference, there would be a major difference in react.memo and use memo. First of all, use memo is a hook, whereas react memo is a function which is provided by the React. Okay, so what this React memo do, it actually memorizes the whole component, whereas use memo is used to memorize the expensive operations that are needed not to be recomputed on every re-rendered cycle. Okay, so I'll take some of the what you say like inspiration from our last boot camp. I'll show you that how the use memo works, and once you'll able to know that how the use memo works, because some of the students were having doubt how these React hooks are working. Okay, so I'll show you that what is use memo. This was already covered in our previous bootcamp. You can watch that. But for now, I'll tell you what is use memo, and it is a optimization technique. Use memo. If you are using a use memo, it is actually itself optimization technique. But what we are seeing that the dependency array, that on the dependency array also should have the stable dependency function in it, so that there is a re-rendering happening stably, not unstably. Okay, you will see that what I'm trying to say. Okay, now we look uh, at the previous code, so that you just get what is the use memo hook, and what function it performs, and then we'll start optimizing the use memo function. Okay, this was our previous project that we made in our previous bootcamp. Okay, let me show you just what is use memo, and then we will look at what are the stable dependencies actually are. Okay, so we'll go to the day two. On day two, we covered the use memo. So what is the function of use memo is that this is an unrelated button. Okay, so when I'll be clicking this unrelated button, this sum is not changing. This sum is actually something an expensive operation. So the code of this expensive operation is here. See there, this is an expensive operation. Okay, so what this use memo hook do, it actually recomputes or runs this particular part of code when this particular thing changes in the page. When this n will change, then only this particular thing will get recomputed or re-rendered. Okay, are you able to get my point? Suppose you are clicking x. Okay, you are clicking unrelated thing, this particular thing is not changing, but as soon as you are just increasing this particular thing, 2 3 4, you'll see that this particular thing is changing. What is happening is that you are changing n. As soon as you change the n, it will see in the use memo, it will see yes, there is a recomputation to be happened when the n changes in your page. When this particular n changes, do the computation or the what you say first numbers which are written in here, like first thousand number sum would be this. Okay, so just think of a case, if this unrelated button, we are clicking this unrelated button which is not related to this particular part, on this unrelated button when we are clicking, this computation would be happening. It would have created a messy code, and it would not have help to scale our what you say app. So today you'll see that it is important that we use memo, but it is more important that you pass the dependency in such a way that these are stable. Okay, if these are not stable, if the dependency, the things you are passing in the dependency array are not stable, then there is no use of use memo. Okay, right, your optimization would not be as good as much you wanted. So now just close it. We just revised what we learned in the previous bootcamp. Now we'll start with own our own today's project. So before starting the today's project, I like to show you that where in the real world application it is used. Suppose it is basically majorly used in the filtering of the product. Suppose you write laptop under 35,000. Okay, so you will see that the re-render would happen, the filtering of the product would happen only when these particular things I am changing. If I am doing add to cart, nothing changes, only this counter is changing. But you will see the process of filtering, which is an expensive operation, will be recomputed or will be re-rendered only when I change brand, RAM, or price in it. Suppose I do Lenovo, so all the filtering will be done on the basis of Lenovo. Suppose Lenovo. So you are seeing that recomputation did, or the filtering process did on the basis of the things I changed here. Suppose I am changing add to cart here, nothing is getting filter out. Okay, so filter out, you can just make an analogy with the expensive operation that I show you previously, that this filtering process is an expensive operation, and I want that this filtering operation to be done when the particular thing on the pages changes. Okay, suppose if you do asus, so the filtering process completed, and laptops with Lenovo and Asus both are ticked and filtered out. So a very dummy code that must have been written on the back end of such a good website looks like this, right? So you don't have to look to this particular thing. This is actually nothing. It is actually the filtering code. But you will see the dependency array. Can you see the dependency array? What this dependency array says: whenever a brand changes, filter out this particular code. Whenever the minimum and the maximum prices changes, you have to filter again or recompute this filtration. Whenever any product change, you have to filter again. So suppose you actually the initial price should be 31,000 and maximum it should be, right? Okay, so you'll see, yes, and the maximum should be 33,000. Now the filtering will happen. Now the filtering would happen. If we have not used the use memo in it, it would have been filtering out, which is an expensive operation on any button if you click on the website. Okay, so this is not an good approach. Okay, good approach. So today we'll look that how this particular thing works, okay, through our code. Okay, now, yeah, I can just close this particular thing, this thing also. Okay, so if anyone is having any doubt till now, then ask me, because when we start coding, then there is no looking back to this particular concept. If anyone is having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay, you can just ask any doubt if you have. Okay, hope you all have got my GitHub link. Okay, then we'll start with our coding. Revision of it, what thing? Like what thing? The yesterday or today what we did? Revision of what thing? Just when you are asking doubt, just ask specifically, right? Because there are a lot of things which I have taught you, and revision of what particular thing you want. Okay, so the purpose of the use memo hook is that it will, okay, let me show you with the help of code, it will be more easy for you. The one line function is that it helps to memorize the expensive operation, and these expensive operation would be re-rendered or recomputed only when the things in the dependency array changes. Okay, that's what I showed on the Amazon site also, that this is a filtering process which we are doing, which is done by the site. Okay, you are filtering the laptops on the basis of their brand, price, right, GB RAM, and the customer review. So I want that this particular expensive operation, which is filtering in this case, should should only take place whenever these things changes. Whenever these things changes, only then this particular thing would be filtered, or the expensive operation would be recomputed. Otherwise nothing should be recomputed or filtered, because filtering is a expensive operation. Okay, if this particular thing is clear in your mind, just say yes. Okay, because then once we start the coding, and yesterday people were asking about the what is use ref and use state. Okay, attendance would be shared, yes, fine, attendance would be shared, I think around 750. Okay, so I think we can start with the coding part. Okay, nice. So let me once show you the use memo code also. It would be more clear to you. So what I have did, this is an expensive operation. I used use memo to it and passed n to it. Means whenever this particular n would be changing, this particular operation would be performed on our screen. If x would be changing, as x I have not passed in the dependency array, when the x would be changing, there would be no recomputation for it. Okay, so this is the one line definition for the use memo. For like more explanation, you can go back to the my boot camp. It is just a 3-day boot camp, right? It is just of 3 hours. You can complete it if you want to learn about more uh, hooks. Okay, so we'll start with the day two. We'll start with the day two. We'll make after.jsx. We'll make before.jsx. Okay, and we'll do one thing, close for now. Okay, now change directory to React Optimize. Okay, now you can go to my GitHub link, demo, day two before. Day two after. So today we'll just import them in the app.jsx first, then we will start the coding, because if you are not knowing that what we are going to perform, it will be difficult for you. Import day 2 after, and you can go to app.jsx. Okay, so can you share the bootcamp link? I'll share once we finish this, I'll share you. Okay, so when you do npm run dev, okay, so this is okay. Now we'll start the coding. These all will go after, like like on their own when we will complete the code. Okay, so before I start, if anyone is having any doubt in the use memo part, just ask me, because when I'll start coding and and someone ask about use memo, it would be more difficult to retract back. Okay, you can just ask me now itself. Okay, suppose it feels very bad when you are like at the end of the session and someone asks, then what is use memo, right? Though you can cover that particular thing from the previous section. Okay, so I think we are good to go. So so what you'll see, that we will be making stable dependencies for the use memo. Use memo is actually an optimization technique that you are memoizing some expensive operation, but there can be one weakness, that in the dependency array you are passing something which is changing regularly. We want something that not change regularly, and give that particular recomputation of the expensive operation only when we needed it, not not when like automatically, right? You'll see that what I am trying to say. You can just code along with me. So in this I am actually writing a function render count. These are just the dummy functions, right? So that you can easily understand what is going on. You are destructuring the name. Okay, you will be passing the value const c use ref, initial value 0, c dot current plus plus, right? Return uh, with the span, and you're going to destructure name from here, and c dot current value, and in the span make the class name as batch. This badge will be referring to the css which we have imported from, you must have imported from my github link. Okay, so this is all about the function. Then what we'll do, we'll make a use state hook, const query set query, right? I think you all be knowing about what is a use state hook. Okay, you are going to use state, initial value would be 1, const toggle, and we are going to set toggle. You are going to say use state false. This is the initial value of the what you say. And now this particular line of the code, it will be referring to the dummy list. Okay, like the dummy list which will be filtered out. Okay, like we cannot have the database of Amazon, so we created a dummy, you can say dummy database. Okay, so this is not something of you should be worrying about, that you don't know that what is this. So I told you that this is just a dummy array, so it is not of very much important for you. You can just simply write the code what I am writing. Okay, item. Okay, const filter, and what I am going to do, I'll be passing const filter. You will see that what dependencies we are giving, and those dependencies, I passed in the after section all, I think so, but I want before. Okay, we wrote something which is of no use here. Okay, so this should be in the before section. Okay, this should be in the before section. You can just copy paste from here. I started in the wrong folder, in the after folder. Okay, you can write const query use state, and this particular thing. For now you can just, like what you say, you can just code along with me, and we'll be seeing that what we achieved at the end. Okay, okay, now the dummy database that I told you that it is just a dummy database, so you don't have to like be like what is this code and where it what it is doing. It is just a dummy code of length 2000, and we'll be filtering out the process. Okay, so we'll be filtering on this particular database. So you created a dummy database in this particular case. Okay, item dollar dollar I. Okay, you created list, we created a const filter, which will be destructuring the query itself. So it is actually an unstable dependency which will be passing to use memo. Till now we have not made the use memo, and now you will see that we'll make a use memo. Const filtered, this is filtered, let's wait for 1 minute, is equals to use memo. Now I'm saying that this expensive operation should be memoized, and what should you return? You should return list. You should return a list which will filter out the process. Okay, filter x dot include filter dot query. So if someone would be asking that what this particular line of code is doing, this particular line of code would be like filtering the things on the basis of x. Like there would be two. If I pass two on it, so what it will do, it will filter out all the things in the list which are presented or the starting with two, right? So we have created like a dummy database, and now in the dependencies I am passing the what you say, the uh, unstable dependency for now. And you will see that how they are unstable, because these two are not like the stable dependency. Suppose the filter is the query, so whenever the query changes, this particular changes, and in return what it do, it actually recomputes this particular expensive operation. Though you have used use memo, but it is of no use for yourself, because you have passed unstable dependencies in your React code. Okay, so this was the whole for the date. Now here you'll pass one query, that is on change set query e dot target dot value. Okay, This would be the case, and mm, you can just save it. And in this toggle button, I want to toggle this particular say. So on click, there would be a toggle functionality that must be performed, which will be saying that set toggle is not toggle. Okay, you will save this particular thing also, and in the last just change this particular thing, and now you'll see that how these unstable dependency is creating a full-on mess for us, right? Okay, you go to day 2 before. Now what should happen? This is the expensive operation. Okay, you have used use memo, but that is of no use because you are passing filter in it and a list in it. Okay, so what will happen when you will toggle? So you will see that what is going to happen. You are just write console.log because of the unstable dependency I am getting hit. Okay, so what should happen ideally? What should happen ideally? If you are clicking on the toggle, there should be nothing, like there should be is like what you say, like command r, command R. Okay, so what should be happen? This particular thing should not change, but what we'll do, we'll inspect it and we'll see that how that particular code is getting a hit. Okay, you will go to day before, and when you are getting toggle, see, because of unstable dependency I am getting a hit, right? This should not have happened, and this is happening because what is happening as you are doing toggle, set toggle, on click, when the set toggle comes, the whole page gets re-rendered, and in that process, when the whole page is getting re-rendered, the filter will form a new copy every time, and when the filter is changing, this particular process would be getting a hit, and it would be what you say, it would get a hit, and it would be recomputing its value again. Okay, so due to which it formed an unstable use memo, because we are using unstable dependencies, it formed an unstable product to us. So is this particular point thing clear? So what we will do in the after part, we will make the dependency stable so that the recomputation only happens when we need it, not when unnecessary things are working. Okay, if anyone has that now, you can ask me, then we'll move towards the optimization and we'll revise that what we did today. Okay, if anyone has any doubt, you can just ask me now. Okay, I'm looking at the chat section. Wait a minute. Let me just look at this part. Right. So what is happening? You are toggling, right? And the filter is running. Why the filter is running? This should not happen. Filter should not run. Filter should only run when I am actually searching for something. When the filter is running, that is okay, because the filter should run in such a way that when you are asking for something, then the filter should run. But when you are toggling, the filter should not run. Are you able to see that count is increasing when we are toggling? Okay. If anyone is having any doubt, you can ask me. Okay. I'm looking at the chat section because now we will optimize this particular thing. And how we will optimize? We will optimize by passing good and stable dependencies in the use memo, right? Use memo with unstable dependencies is of no use. Okay, that you saw just now. Like you are clicking. Okay, like what is happening, you are clicking on toggle. Toggle is having no, like what you say, like no relation with this particular search functionality. What you are saying, what you are doing, you are asking for, is there anything with 1 2 3? See, the search is saying yes, there are 12 products with 1 2 3. That is okay. In that particular case, filter should run, because filtering process, we want that whenever the person is asking for something, just filter out the process. That is normal process. But this particular thing should not happen when you are clicking on the toggle functionality. Okay, toggle is an another thing. But what is happening when you are clicking on toggle, what it does, it sets the toggle to the, like, the opposite of the toggle, the whole code gets re-rendered, and in this re-rendering what is happening, list is forming again and again, and filter is forming again and again. So this particular thing should not happen. Okay, so you can just ask me in the doubt section that if you are having any doubt, because these two fix would be very easy, and if you understand that these are the two main problem, and the fix you will see, you'll get a good understanding of use memo. Okay, if anyone has any doubt, you can just ask me in the chat section. Attendance would be shared, I think 9:50, 9:45. Okay, because once we start with the optimization, then it would be more clear to you. Sir, should should use debounce for input to reduce API. Right. You that's the optimization technique. That's a good point. Yeah, you must have seen my last boot camp, right? But that is for, you can use. You can definitely use. Yes, you can use debounce, right? Right. But my motive of this particular thing was to make you clear about the use memo dependency. Okay. So Piyush, yes, Yash, what you are saying, that debounce should be there, but in that also use memo would be used, right? And use memo with the stable dependency is more like the correct thing to say, right? Debounce is the thing which will be added later, which can be added later. But but wha- but what we want in that also, debounce also, use memo would be there, but that use memo would should be with stable dependencies. Okay, so yes, debounce is a optimization technique that we use in the later state, but debounce works on the use memo with stable dependencies. If we are using debounce on a use memo with unstable dependencies, then that debounce is of not any use. Okay, am I able to make my point clear? Because you can just say yes in the chat section if I was able to make my point clear. Okay, nice, nice. Okay, so now I think we can start with the optimization. You'll just have to do two things to optimize. You'll just take the demo code from my day to after. Okay, we'll just click it here. Command A, Command V. Okay, you can take the function from here because the function is same in the before and the after thing. Okay, now we'll be using the same this functionality. They'll be same. Okay, they'll be same, so you can just copy paste it. Okay, now what will happen is that I'll compare you. What you did, you just make a list. Okay. Now what you will do, you will use list with the use memo itself. Okay. So you are actually making the list using the use memo. Okay. So it is now has become a stable dependency. So now when it will be passed into the use memo, it would be more stable. Okay, you can paste the same code. It will be the same code, array from this, command C, command V, and you are going to pass a empty dependency array. Okay, command S. So this would be the thing, and you will be using const. Now you will see the main difference between the previous and the this particular code. Filtered is use memo, return list dot filter, the same code that we wrote before, but I am writing so that you can like get handy to it. right? Though once you go to chat gpt and ask for like the code for the filtering in the react, it will give you the same thing, but I think you should use your own hands for this particular thing, right? It becomes more handy, right? And now what you are going passing, you are passing the query and you are passing the list. So the main difference comes here between the before and the after code. What you did, we were actually making passing the filter the query in an indirect way. What we did now, we directly pass the query in it, right? Like before, what we were doing, on each render, list would be formed, right? And we were passing list as a dependency array in use memo. But what we did, we actually created the list using use memo. So what this use memo would say, yes, there is no change from the previous list. So this particular code will be skipped, and once this particular code is skipped, the filter process would not run again and again. This filter process would only run again when there is a query in it. Okay, whenever there is query in it, or whenever the list changes, only then in that particular case this particular expensive operation would be performed, right? Now we'll complete our code, and then we'll look at the console log statement, and we'll understand the whole concept, and then we'll revise it again. Okay. You'll pass the on change e dot set query dot e dot target dot value, like okay, command s in this button, that on click, what you have to do, you have to change the toggle button, right? Okay, so you can do this particular thing also. Set toggle, reverse of toggle. Okay, this particular thing should be clear, and I think here it should be filter dot length. Filter dot length. Okay, now when we go to our this use after, now you will see that this particular statement, now we'll write console dot log. Now I am computing myself when the query is asked. He is asked. Okay, so what we are going to perform is that, let me just open the chat section, right? So you will see that when you are going to after this toggle, when you are clicking toggle, now the console log statement in this particular thing is not getting re-rendered. Are you able to get my point, that what we did, what we achieved? Now this particular query or the filtration would only happen when the query is been asked in the search box. Suppose you ask for 1 2 3, so now only then, like 4 also, so you are going to see that now the computation is having when the query is asked, right? When the query is asked, only then the filtration process is being achieved, and that is what is achieved in the Amazon site also. So these are the basically, you can say that I have make you a simple project on how the filtration take place with the help of the stable dependencies when passed in it. Okay, so anyone has any doubt that what we performed, you can ask me in the chat section, and then I'll just go and revise all of the things that we performed today. Okay, you can ask your doubt. I'm looking at the chat section. Okay, so did you get my point that we achieved the use memo, which is actually used for the recomputation of the expensive operation. So I told you with the help of an example, filtering is an expensive operation, and we want the filtering to happen only when the filters are changed. Okay, I don't want filtering happening whenever other things are changing in my site. I don't have to look at those particular changes. Suppose in the Amazon site also, the filtering process, which is an expensive process, will only be recomputing, or will be running only when these filters are changed, right? Like I want a RAM size to be 8 GB. Okay, so then the filter process done. But if you are clicking on the add card, no filtering is happening at all. Okay, so this was the thing we can achieve from our, like what you say, from the use memo with the stable dependencies. Okay, so now if anyone is having any doubt, let me see, someone asks doubt, then we'll, what do you say, just revise once more. It is used to reduce the database fetching. Yes, yes, it is. It actually optimizes other things also. So this is also the one thing, that it reduces the database fetching, right? Not kind of database fetching, like it is an effect that it is producing, but the main thing is that the filtering process should not run on anything. If something changes on a site, suppose I'll do +1, so the filtering process should not run, right? Because filtering process is a very expensive operation. The filtering process should only run when something which we wanted to changes in this particular thing. Suppose I change the price, suppose. So I want the filtering process to run when the price changes. So when the price change, filtering process run. But if I click on the add to cart, I don't want the filtering process to be run. In the similar manner we did in our code also, that before what was happening, you are clicking on toggle has nothing to do with the filtering process, right? On the query side, if you run on 1 2 3 4, right, there is one result showing that there is one number which is 1 2 3 4. So in that particular case the filter should run. But on the case of toggle, it should not have run, because toggle is not related to the filtering process. What we optimized in the after code is that, let me refresh, it will be more clear, that you are, when you are toggling, the filtering recomputation is not done. But as soon as you are querying it, you want the filtering process to done. Like, is there any number with 1 and 2 in it? So it will say yes, there are 139 numbers which are matching your result, and I want this particular computation to happen. So that's why now I am computing myself when the query is asked. So this was the console log statement that we write in the after code. And this is happening because we have passed the stable dependencies in it. These are not unstable like before. Okay, there is one more doubt. What is difference between use ref and use memo? Okay, so use ref is actually used to store a value of a particular variable we wanted to not to change between the re-rendering cycle, whereas use memo is used for the memorization of the expensive processes that we need to get recomputed only when we need something, that if that particular thing changes in our page, that particular recomputation should happen. So use memo, what it do, it actually stores the value. If that particular stable dependencies do not changes, that particular recomputation would not happen, and it will store the result as it is. Okay, so this is the major difference between the use ref and use memo. So you can just say that use ref is used to store the value of one variable, whereas use memory is used to store the expensive operation, and use memory provides one more feature, that is recomputation on the basis of uh, change of the dependency array. Okay, like we pass the dependency array here. So whenever the query and list changes in our like whenever the query, are you able to get my point? When we queried in the this particular box, like 1 2 3, okay, whenever this query changes, this particular code will run. Okay, otherwise the code would not run if I run on the toggle. If I'm clicking on the toggle, this particular thing is not running. Like okay, you can see in the console log statement also that when you are clicking on the toggle, this particular statement is not being shown. Okay, this particular statement is only shown when you are querying it. Okay, because you have passed the dependency function in such a way. Okay, so any doubt till now you can ask me. Then we'll revise from the starting, right? And I'll just cut down to the. Okay, what is the concept of expensive operation? See, uh, like when you are building a scalable site, this is only the one example that I show you with the help of Amazon site. That filtering is an expensive operation. Okay, but there are many expensive operations, such as you can think of other, like let me think of some other examples. Like you are searching on YouTube. Okay, that is also an expensive operation, right? So what that do, that it only filters the videos on the basis of what you have written, right? The filtering process of videos does not go again and again. If you touch, if you are like clicking like to any video, right? You liked any video, so the filtering process should not run when you like the video, right? So you want the recomputation or the filtering process to happen only when someone writes in the, what you say, search box. You don't want the filtering process to run when user touches anything, like anything on the screen except the search bar. So there the use memo works for the expensive operation, right? So when you are building, you'll see that this is an expensive operation, so let's keep in the use memo and give this a recomputational value on the basis of the dependencies passed to it. Okay, how is it expensive? See, suppose, like how it is expensive, like what, the filtering process? Are you asking about the filtering process, that how it is expensive? So if you are asking about the filtering process, why? Okay, let me answer this particular question, that how is it expensive. So see, there are like lakhs of products in the Amazon site, right? So suppose you go to Amazon back. Okay, suppose you search for lap under 35,000. Okay, so it is an expensive operation. Like you can think of, or you can just keep goods under 35,000. So you can just think of the lakhs of products on the Amazon database, right? So the filtering process is definitely an expensive one, right? You can see that how much, like this is not showing only laptop now, it is also showing some of the, like good night, or these are the supplements, right? Phones, right? Another supplement. So these are all the products that has been shown. So definitely a filtering process is a very expensive operation, and we want that this filtering should be done only when we needed it, not when other things in the site changes, or a user clicks something else and the filtering process runs. Then it would not be good for the user, because the user will get the delayed response, and as well as it will make your site feel laggy, right? It will make your site feel laggy, right? If anyone has any other doubt. Okay, yes, I think I am able to make my point clear. Okay. So, right, I think we can start with the revision, that what we did today. I think almost everyone's doubts are cleared, right? That why it is an expensive operation and all those things. You can ask me any doubt for now, because then I'll start with the revision part, that what we did today. Okay. Okay. I think we can start with the revision part, right? Let me just once. Okay, now we can start with the revision part. That what we did, we looked at the Amazon site. We looked at how the filtering process, which is an expensive process, is only happening when we were clicking on these particular things, right? And this is how the thing should work. The filtering process should work on whenever these particular, what you say, constraint changes. Suppose I want a laptop of Samsung, right? Then the filtering process, then I think the now I'll take doubts afterwards. Okay, so what you see, you will see goods in the 35,000 and are of Samsung, right? What it showed us to us, it showed to us all the mobiles which are under 35,000 and are of Samsung, right? This is an expensive operation. Now think of like user clicked on add to cart. Now you will see that whole page does not get re-rendered, or the filtering process does not started, right? So this is what we wanted, right? Because the we want the expensive operation, that is the filtering operation, to be performed only when these constraints are changed. Okay, that's why I show you a demo code, like, right, this is a code for filtering the process. What it used a use memo, so you can just skip this particular part because it can be like scary for some of the new beginners. But you can see that what things are passed in the dependency array. In the dependency array there are products, minimum price, maximum price, select brand. So what happens, whenever the brand changes, this particular code will run, and the filter would be done on the basis of the brand name, right? In the same manner we did, like we want not of Samsung, we want goods of Apple brand. Okay, so what happened when you changed the Apple brand name, so everything under 35,000 of Apple brand came in our site, right? So in this similar manner, this code is also showing that when you pass the stable dependencies on an expensive operation and you use memo, it becomes a very scalable, it turns into a very scalable, what you say, scalable site, right? Otherwise it would have created overhead to your side, and you have your the user experience would have been not good, and your site maintenance would have cost should have shooten up, right? So what we did in our own code, right? What we did, like in day 2, before, what was happening when I'm clicking on toggle button, you will see that filter is running, filter process. You can see through our code. Let me go through the code. What I have done, that there are filters and list. Okay, whenever these changes, you should rerun or recompute this particular part of code. So what is happening, filter run before. Okay, you will see that on toggling, filter is running, right? This was not happening in the Amazon site, and this should not happen either in any of our site, right? Because you are clicking on toggle and filter process is running. The filter process should only run when I am actually searching for the things in it, like I wrote 2 in it, right, and I write 3 in it, so it shows that there are 12 results which are matching to our database, right? We created this particular database, right? You remember, this is the demo, or you can say mock database. You can add mock database. So it is actually filtering with the help of this. So this should ideally happen, that on toggle the filter process should not run. The filter process should only run when we are asking for it, like, is there any number with 1132? So yeah, it said yes, there is one number with 1232. Okay, this is the normal functionality that should perform. So what we did in the after code, we passed with the stable dependencies this time. So what happened, that whenever the query changes, only then this recomputation would happen. On any other thing it will not happen. Okay, so when I'll be toggling this particular thing, you will not see in the console log statements. Okay, you will go to after, when just refresh. So when you are toggling it, so for the first time it is coming, because like once you load the site there would be one re-render that would be happening. So for the first time that's okay, but when I'm toggling it, that particular statement is not getting printed, and this is how we wanted our site to react to this toggle button, right? Whenever we are clicking on anything, this particular computation should not happen, or you can say that this particular lines of code must should have been skipped. Okay, this particular line of code will be recomputed only when the query asked changes in the site. Okay, so when you are asking for the query, suppose to So you are going to see that now I am computing myself when the query is asked, right? When you pass for 3, so you will see, you are also seeing that there are 12 results matching to 1 to 3. And you are seeing here also that now I am computing when the query is asked. And this is how we wanted our site to perform at the end. Okay, now if anyone has any doubt related to it. Okay, so someone asked that on every re-render, React registers a new function each time. Right, right. It registers a new function each time, due to which we used use memo to it so that it memorizes the thing. But we should pass the use memo with the stable dependencies so that the use memo should be used efficiently. So this is what answer to your question. Okay, yeah, I got that. Okay, if anyone has any doubt, you can just ask me in the comment section. Okay, right, right. I think you can just say no if you have no, if you have not any doubt, you can just say no also, right? Because, okay, I think I answered almost all of the questions that you asked, right? If anyone has any, yeah, okay, okay, you have no doubt, right? Good, very good. So I think all these concepts are clear. So yesterday, some of the students were asking for the link for the previous bootcamp. So what one thing you can do is that you can go to YouTube and you can search DevTown. So it was like 10 to 20 days ago only the bootcamp that I took. Okay, it's a 3 day boot camp. It's not 5 day. I yesterday told that it's a 5 day boot camp. It's a 3 day boot camp. So it is of 3 hours. So it is more easy for you to cover, right? It would be great that if you watch that and come to this particular React optimization, because only then you will able to know that how these React hooks are performing their work. Now because what we are doing, we have already seen how the use memo work. What we learned in this particular thing, how we can optimize this use memo, which is already an optimized technique, which is an optimized hook. We are optimizing that particular hook itself. Okay, so I think if anyone has any doubt, you can ask in the chat section, right? Because if you clear your doubt, it will be more beneficial for you. And do fill the attendance form, because on my LinkedIn, so how do prop references equality affect re-render? Can you like specify more like what prop references you are talking about, right? Equality affect re-renders. I think re-render is only on the basis how does one's how does one learn the syntax, the syntax of these React. See, you can refer to my previous bootcamp. In that, I have covered the hooks with their syntax, what their syntax meaning is, and we have once like run that particular code so that everyone got the idea of syntax and what that syntax do actually. So you can just watch the 3 day bootcamp that I covered. You can learn the syntax of the hooks from there, because it started with the syntax of the hook, and then we implemented that particular syntax in a very very simple manner. Okay, so one is asking about how prop references equality. What name of the boot camp? The boot camp. Let me just see why. I think you can. It's off. Let me see. Let's just wait a minute. Let me open the DevTown live section. So it's with the name of React Hooks Interactive Lab. It's a 3 day boot camp. And right, it was streamed 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, right? 3 weeks ago. So the name of the thing is React Hooks Interactive Lab. Right, right, right. So, can you brief the use memo approach previous day and now? Okay. So, the previous day, what we did, previous day, we used the React memo. The React memo is used to memorize the whole component, but in today's use memo is a different thing from a React memo. It is actually used to memorize the expensive operation. This is the one line difference between them. Okay. React determines whether a component should re-render by comparing the previous states with the new. Right, right. And this particular thing is achieved by the hooks. Okay, this thing is particularly achieved by hooks. Right, you are correct. React determines whether the component should re-render. It's a correct statement. Okay, so I think we can pack up for now. Today's session is over. I think almost everyone is having no doubt. Okay, so goodbye, everyone. If your doubt is clear, you can just say yes in the comment section and then we will wrap up the class. Okay. Okay. Goodbye. 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 Goodbye, everyone.